Hello, and welcome to the explanation of a new problem. So in this video, we are going to discuss the problem number 4 of LeetCode Contest 241. The problem name is number of ways to rearrange sticks with K sticks visible. So yeah, it's a long name, but let's try to understand what the problem is asking us to do. So we have n uniquely sized sticks whose lengths are from 1 to n. The unit is not given to us, so let's not go deep into that. We are given an integer n, and we have some unique size sticks whose size are from 1 to n. And we have to arrange them in such a way that only k sticks are visible when you view them from the left hand side, right? So let's go into this example itself over here, example number 1, where n is equal to 3 and k is equal to 2. So I have a few cases drawn with me over here. So these will be the lengths of the sticks, right? And let me change the pen color. And k is given to us as 2. So we want two sticks to be visible when we view them from this side, left side, right? Left side. Okay. So I have some ways drawn over here with me. So I hope you will understand the sizes that I've drawn over here. So this is a stick of size 1, this is a stick of size 2, and this is a stick of size 3. And if you view from the left hand side, all these three sticks will be visible, right? So 3 visible over here. Similarly, if I have a stick of size 2 over here, 3 and 1 over this side, so only 2 are visible. You can see 2, you can see 3, but from left hand side, you won't be able to see the last stick. Here, you won't be able to see the stick in the middle, right? And here, you will be only able to see the stick which is of size 3, the first stick, because this will cover both these sticks. So a few observations that we can make from here is that if the first stick is the largest stick, that no other sticks would be visible. This is pretty useless observation, but still I'd made it. And another thing is that at any cost, at any given point, one stick is always visible because that's the first stick, right? Okay. So we have n equal to 3 and k equal to 2. Let's break this problem, right? What would happen? What would happen if I fix the first candle, the first stick in the first position? What would happen if I fix this second stick in the first position? And what would happen if I fix the third stick in the first position? So let's actually visualize what will happen. Let's say I'm fixing one in the first position, and now I'm left with 2 and 3, right? These 2 and 3 can be arranged, right? This one would be visible to us because it's the first stick and it's the smaller stick. Now, what the ways that we can arrange is that 1, 3, 2 and 1, 2, 3, right? So this was a big problem where n was equal to 3 and those things are drawn here and k was equal to 2, and we are trying to break it into sub problem. So in a sub problem format, we have said that we are fixing the first stick with size 1 in the first position over here, right? So the problem now boils down to a condition where n is equal to 2, because the remaining number of sticks that we need to arrange is 2, and one stick that we have arranged is going to be visible, right? So k will also decrease by 1. So now if I fix 1, the sub problem that we need to solve is where n is equal to 2 and k is equal to 1, right? Pretty easy stuff, right? But let's understand why it's actually not that easy over here. So the thing is, these two cases will give us a little issue. What that issue would be, if I fix 2 over here, right, then I have 1 and 3. Now, this 1 and 3, they can be rearranged in any form, but there is no possible way now that 1 will ever be visible to from the left hand side. Why? Because see, 2 is obviously greater than 1. So any stick which is less than the size of 2 will never be visible, right? So over here, we are maintaining the new number of options, which is 2, right? One k would this 2 will definitely be visible, so k is also decreased by 1. But another thing that we need to keep a track of is the number of candles that will never be visible. Why do we need to keep a track of this? Let's say we had a format like 4 and then 2, 1, 3. So the thing is, this 2, 1 can be arranged in two ways, right? It can be 2, 1, it can be 1, 2. In fact, they can be arranged in many ways with 3 also. So just the fact that smaller candles are present after this does not mean that they cannot be rearranged in some other way. I think I took a bad example over here. I should have taken 3, 2, 1, 4, right? Even though if we fix the position of 3, even though 2, 1 cannot be visible ever now, they still can be arranged in two ways, right? So this means that we have to maintain another variable over here, which will keep the track of the candles, which although will no longer be visible from the left hand side, still can be rearranged in multiple ways, right? So let's say that this variable is x, and what will be the value of this? We were discussing this case over here, 213. So value of x will be 1, right? 1 is a candle which can be rearranged in many ways, but still it won't be visible. In the case which I drew over here, 3, 1, 2, 4, x was equal to 2. How did I calculate this 2? That's very simple, 3 minus 1, right? Since we are given the value of n, we don't have the exact sizes. Let's assume that we are taking them in a sorted order. And even that does not matter. It's just that if 2 comes in the first position, then every element before 2, every stick with size less than 2 will never be visible, but can be arranged in many number of ways. So how many sticks are there with the size less than 2? Obviously 2 minus 1, which is only 1. And over here, 3 minus 1, which is 2, right? So pretty basic stuff, pretty obvious. But do you see that our complexity just increased because we are maintaining 3 variables now? So the recursive calls increase, right? Because we understood that we are trying to break bigger problems into smaller problems, and the complexity just increased over here, right? Since we are maintaining 3 variables, so yeah, this leads to a bad complexity. Even though this solution will be accepted by LeetCode, I don't think it won't be accepted because see, we will definitely maintain a DP, and that DP's dimension would be n, k, and x, right? So x can range till n itself. So n square into k, right? This complexity will be achieved if we follow this method, right? But this is not actually very efficient. I mean, this definitely will be accepted, but let's look out for some other way. Now, what some other way is that let's not fix the first position, let's fix the last position, right? So what I'm going to do is I'll fix the last stick. Now what I'm doing is 1 will be the last stick over here, right? And then I have 2 and 3 left with me. So 1, since it is a small stick, right? This will never be visible. This will never be visible. 1 is a very small stick. 2 will also overshadow it. 3 will also overshadow this stick. So at this point, what we did was our n became equal to 2 because we had only 2 options to choose from now, and k is still 2, right? K did not decrease. Why? Because because 1 was fixed, but still it is not going to be visible. Not visible. Perfect. Let's discuss about when we are fixing 2 at the end. So 1, 3, and 2 is fixed. Again, this won't be visible. 3 will overshadow it, right? Again, n will be 2, and k will also remain 2 because even though we fixed a candle, we fixed a stick, sorry, it will never be visible. Well, this case is interesting. Let's talk about the last case. In this last case, we are fixing 3 in the end, and 1 and 2 are over here. 3 will definitely be visible no matter what the position of 1 and 2 is. So what this tells us is, if and only if the last stick that we are fixing is actually the largest stick, then only it will be visible, right? So this time, since we fixed a stick, n became 2, and the fixed stick will definitely be visible, this becomes 1. So no matter what the size of this n was, we get to know that for only one case, which is the largest state, for only one case, k will be decreased by 1. For every rest of the case, we'll be decreasing n, but we'll be keeping the k same, right? Now, this can further branch off into many three other areas, and same logic will follow. The last will be in the last k will be reduced by 1, but for these two, k would remain the same. Only n will be decreased by 1, right? So what we can say is that we only one case was different, and n minus 1 cases were same. Now you can clearly see that this is a repetitive case over here with n equal to 2 and k equal to 2. So definitely maintaining a DP would save our time. We won't have to call recursion again and again for these cases. Once it's called for this case, we can directly get the answer for this case, right? What we need to discuss is the base cases. So let's discuss the base cases. Let's say we have 1 and 2 with us, right? So over here, n is equal to 2. And we want to make k equal to 2 sticks visible. So there's only one possible way of arranging it, and that's 1, 2. You can't arrange it 2, 1 because in that case, k only one stick would be visible, right? Even if you had 4 with you, n equal to 4, and even at that point, if k was equal to 4, then also there's only one way to arrange it, and the way is this itself, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So one base case that we understood very prominently is that if n is equal to k, our answer is 1. If n is equal to k, our answer is 1. Okay. Another case. Let's say you had three sticks n equal to 3, and you wanted to arrange in such a way that 0 sticks are visible. Now this is impossible, right? Because one observation that I made very early in this question was that one stick will definitely be visible, which is at the first position. This is an impossible case. You will return 0. So another base case is that when k is equal to 0, we'll return 0, right? Okay. Last base case. Let's say n equal to 0, and you want to make like one stick visible or two stick visible or three stick visible. Again, that's not possible. You don't have any sticks. How will you make it visible, right? So in this case also, we return 0. So even though this problem was like tough to figure out, the solution is pretty easy. Now we have discovered the base cases, we have broken it down into sub problems. All we need to do is apply recursion, maintain a DP, and recursion and DP can be maintained very easily. This time you have only two variables, so n and k will be the dimensions of this DP, and I've discussed the base cases with you just before, right? So now what the complexity for this would be definitely n into k. Since we are maintaining only two variables and that is enough for us, the time complexity over here will be given as n cross k, right? Pretty easy. What will be the, shall I say, recurrence relation? Yeah. What will be the relation that you will maintain with the dp price? So let's say you are calculating dp nk. So as we could see very easily, there was one case with us where k was being reduced and n was also being reduced. So dp n minus 1, k minus 1. And there were n minus 1 cases. There were n minus 1 cases where n was reduced but k was not reduced. Plus n minus 1 into what? A dp where n is being reduced but k is not being reduced. So this is a dp relation, right? Let me, like always, let me quickly break down this problem into steps, and those steps would be first, first step, initialize dp. Second, perform recursion as explained over here. n minus 1 subproblems where n is being reduced but k remains same, and one subproblem where n remains n and k both are reduced by 1. Third, maintain dp. Fourth, write base cases. And final is to return your answer. Sorry for the bad handwriting over here, but I hope you understood these steps very carefully as I dictated them also. So these are the steps. Let me quickly go over the pseudocode for this problem, as this problem is actually very small to write. So I'll quickly go over the pseudocode. So I'm going to rub this now completely. Let me quickly go over the pseudocode for you guys. So let's say I have a function rec representing recursion. It will take two values n and k. Okay, base case was if sorry. Yeah, so base case was if n equal k, to return 1, like to discuss. If either k is equal to 0 or either n equal to 0, what we are going to do, we are going to return 0. Now, base case is handled, right? Another thing, since we are going to maintain a DP, so let's keep a check for that. If DP n k, let's see, initialize all the elements with -1. So if it's not equal to -1, this means that we have found the answer for this DP in some previous recursion. In that case, we will return DP n k. So in a case where n is not being equal to k, or they are not 0 and they are not present in your DP, what we are going to do, we are going to add them in the DP. And for adding them in the DP, we have already discussed the relation DP n k is equal to, let me discuss this before, but let me write it again for you guys. Only one case where both were being reduced, and n minus 1 cases where everything was being reduced. And finally, what you're going to do is you're going to return this DP. And, okay. Right. So this was our recursive function, and your actual function which will call this recursion. Sorry. Your actual function which will call this recursion. That I think you can write very easily on your own. This is the recursive function I told you. And the answer that this recursive function will return, let's say you are calling it in this variable, answer and rec n comma k. Just make sure that you modulo this answer with 10 to the power 9 plus 7, because it is given in the question that this answer can be huge. So you take modulo with this, and finally you return your answer. So yeah, I hope you understood this question. I have explained you the thought process, the steps that you need to follow, and just in case, since this pseudocode was very small, I have discussed the pseudocode with you. So I hope this is clear. Thank you.